attending our latest series of webinars. This one has been devised by Jacob to do with medicines and treatment plans on how you can use T4C for your reports for Red Tractor. It possibly saves keeping 2 sets of records. You can do it all online here with T4C and show the Red Tractor man, just like if he asks about your liners, you know where to get that in devices. And when the liners was changed, your report should be there from the engineers. If you want service reports, everything should be there. Your data sheets, safety data sheets for your chemicals you're using, you should have all those as well. If you haven't, let us know and we'll get those bumped off to you. So we decided to go this one because we found it useful over the last year or so. I've done this for a couple of men who found it whenever the Red Tractor man came to do the inspection, everything was there in black and white, and he was just fit to show him it, print it off, whatever he wanted to do it, and it worked well for him. So we'll just kick off, and Jacob will be taking over. He'll explain it. He's the man that knows how to set it up, so I just back him up. I'm his wingman.
Yep.
We'll go to the next slide here. So basically, as I've said, the presentation tonight's on medicines and what info is required for Red Tractor, where the records are, what the differences between medicine and a treatment plan is, and how to use the reports and how to read them, and then questions and answers at the end. So suppose question kicking off. Did any of you realise you could use treatment and medicine records from T4C for Red Tractor? And yeah, you can, and they accept it. So that's a big thing. We've actually checked this out with them as well, haven't we, Jacob?
Yeah, yeah.
They're quite happy. So I let Jacob take on from here.
Yeah, you just slide for me, Morris, there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I phoned one of the Red Tractor inspectors just to make sure I knew what exactly he needed. So I've just noted them down in bullet points there, and these are all things that you can get from T4C as long as we know how to put the information in the first place. So you'll need the medicine name, animal receiving the medicine, so that'll be your animal number, which will be linked to our ear tag, date of use, which you'll have to put in, withdrawals, which we'll have in as well, quantity of medicine used, person using the medicine, reason for use, and also a batch number. Yep. So if we click on it. One more.
Prescription number is not the same thing.
That's just, yeah. I think one might be a Dutch way of saying it, and one might be a Morse way of saying it.
Thank you.
But if you click on the next slide, so that's the actual sheet that I got off the Red Tractor website. The one thing he did say as well is that vaccines and bits like that should be recorded, which you can do as well. But what we're going to be talking about is more just standard medicines that you might use for a case of mastitis or treatment plans in the case of like drying cows off. So if you click on again, you'll see what comes up. Yeah, so this is a page. I think, Morris, you actually made this for somebody.
Yeah.
Yep. So it, as you say, it's kind of given all the information. Obviously, the contact name will specify who did it. So if there's multiple people on your farm that might be doing the treatment tasks, we can add in different contact names, and then their name will be linked with what medicines they've used. And equally, that can be applied to anything that they do on T4C. You'll have a name beside who did it. And so, so that's just an example of what information you can get out of it. So it's giving us the animal number, which we can put the ear tag beside that if we need. We've got what the disease was, what was used on them, when it was used, registration code, the date applied is the same, and the dosage as well. So so you can skip on there, Morris. Yeah, so I've just made a little note, just what the difference is between medicine. So that's when you tick your fill in yourself box, and a treatment plan. So a medicine is manually added when you're doing the medicine. So, or when you're doing the treatment, sorry. So we'll have all the medicine saved, and you'll just select which medicine you're using in the little red plus box. The main benefit of doing that is it's easy to change. So if we have a case of mastitis and you're not sure whether you're going to have to use your more severe treatment plan of maybe say a tube in the morning, a tube in the evening, and then a tube later date or a day later, you can use this one and then see, sort of play it a wee bit more by ear. A treatment plan is a fixed routine. So the benefit of that is we can use them for reminders. So things like using a cedar, we can get the flash up on the day that you're meant to, and Jagger would say estimate, or you're meant to take the cedar out, just to remind us of what's coming. Yeah, we all know it's busy and it's very easy to forget those type of things. So, and just there at the bottom, it comes up on your report 14 health treatment tasks, but it'll also come up on data entry health treatment tasks. It'll show you what's coming up for that day or what needs done. So you can skip on again there, Morris. So I've just sort of annotated on this screen. I'm sure most of you have seen it, but maybe not really clicked into it. So you're just going to data entry, you're clicking into your libraries, and then at the top here we have medicines and we have treatment plans. So I know a few people have actually chatted very nicely to their vet, and they've added in quite a few of the medicines and then the withdrawals and everything, and then they're already in there for you. So then when you're creating a treatment plan, all you're doing is dragging it or entering in which medicines you've used, and you know if the vet's done it, it should be, they should have got all the withdrawals right and all the information in correctly. Click on again, Morris, please. Yep, so this is just an example of a medicine that you can add in. So I'll just run through it. You're probably all pretty familiar, but the bits that are underlined, so medicine name, meat and milk withhold, they're the two that you have to put in. It won't let you save unless you put those in. So the other things it's looking for is the name, the medicine, the withhold, and the registration code, or yeah, registration code. So that as well is where me and Morris were saying you can add that in later. So if we do a medicine treatment on an animal, it also gives you the box and it will say prescription number. So if it's a medicine that you don't use terribly often, you might just want to put the medicine in, and then you might only use one bottle of it every month or even less. So you'll only you can do it that way, and it'll save you entering in a new registration code. Okay, sorry. So what I'm trying to explain just is if you use a medicine and enter the registration code here, when you add another batch number of that same tetradelta, you'll have to inactive the first one and make a new one, and it'll have a new batch number. So just to see if you're doing that, you can do it the other way by leaving the registration code out until a later date. Whereas if this was a dry cow tube and we bought a box of 50 or we bought a box of 100, we could add the registration code, because at least that'll last us a bit longer. Yeah, and again, if you add the dosage information, that'll keep the red tractor man on side, because he'll know how much of that medicine we've actually used, not just that we've used. So you can have a tube, or you can say you've used certain mils or whatever the advised dosages. So click on again, Morse. So I think this is a little video that me and Morse made. So if you hit play, I'll maybe just run you through what's going on. So we've set this one up as a cedar and a sink to try and show how you can get the reminders to come up. So I've just said it's a reproductive issue, but that there's no actual problem with the animal. We're just trying to sync them in this case. So as you can see, I'm putting in cedar and receptacle because we'll do them together on the first day. I wasn't quite sure exactly what to call the category. That's why I'm sort of slowing down here, but I think I end up just putting it as a other. Any second now. Yep, and as I say, we're mainly using this not really for the withholds, but more so that we can use it for reminders, and then as well have a note. It'll warn you the day that you need to estimate and the day that you need to remove the cedar, and hopefully keep us right. Yeah, so just a question there. So yeah, this is a hormone treatment. So it was just, as I said, the cedar, or some people call them prids, or maybe that's the manufacturer's name, the prid, and then the receptacle is to stop them coming in this season whenever we're hoping that we're going to synchronize them in 8 days time or 7 days time. So then by changing the since start treatment, this will then set the reminder. So whenever we do the first insert the cedar, we'll tell the computer we've done that, and then it'll start counting 7 days time. It'll flash up a little reminder that we need to use our estimate. Again, just if you're using this type of thing, by putting the batch number in, that'll then be linked every time. So if we change the batch number, we will have to delete out the old medicine and put in the new one with the new batch number. So, and hopefully at the end here, yeah, this is just the final day. So just remind us to take the cedar out, or the prid out, but hopefully we'll have remembered. Again, wasn't quite sure what the route of administration, but I don't think you actually have to fill that out, but it just keeps the whole thing looking nice if you do take the time. And there you have it. So that'll give us the little reminders. And there's just on our treatment plan, all the ones that were already on there. And if you can see there, it's report number 14, health treatment tasks. That's the one that will give us the little reminder. So this is the demo herd. So we have one animal on the demo herd that's due for a treatment the day that I was playing with this. So if I clicked in there, I would see what the reminder was, but I obviously haven't. So we'll just click on the next slide there, Morse, please.
All right.
That's all right. Yep. So this is the slide that you'll be greeted with if you click the fill in yourself. So if you click the treatment plan, would be fit just to select from the ones that we've already made. But if you click the fill in yourself, it'll give us this screen. So the benefit that I like of this one is, so we'll record the issue, so why we're treating this animal. It'll also let us change who's carried out the treatment. And where it says a prescription number, we can put the batch number in there, and that'll still come through on our reports at the end. It will mean there'll be two lists, but it's, yeah, I find it easier this way if it's a treatment that's going to change sort of every time, or maybe we're not doing it that regularly. And then at the very bottom there, you'll see the little plus. So we would click that plus, and it would bring us up a screen, and we just select which medicine we're going to use, and then on the right hand side of that screen you'll be able to change if it's a different injection amount that you've been advised to what you've set as the standard. But on this case it's just one tube. So click on again, Morse. Yeah, so this is the bit that's a little bit annoying about treatment plans. It doesn't seem to let you overwrite a withdrawal or a batch number, sorry. So if a treatment plan is no longer needed, as in the batch number of that group is used up, like you've used all the ones with that batch number, you'll have to tick it as no. So on there it says active, kind of in the middle of the screen it says remark, continuation and active. So you'd mark that as no. That'll then save all the times that you've used that particular product, and it'll save all the batch numbers, but it'll let you then add a new one and a new fresh batch number. The only thing is you'll have to go through the whole process of making it again. So you do sort of have to weigh up the options a wee bit, whether it's easier to do it this way or to just add the medicine in when you're doing your treatment. Click on there, Morse. Yeah, so this is a little slide me and Morse sort of just put together there this morning. So basically you can see at the very top, so everyone will have this list of all the possible diseases that you might be treating for. And what we've done is we've added A1 mastitis, A2 E. coli, and A3 dermatitis, and A4 displaced stomach. And the reason we did that is because those will be the ones that we believe will be most likely happen on our imaginary farm. So they'll be the ones that appear at the top of the list. And then we can select those. And from that, then at the end of the year, you can actually print off a report that will tell you how many cases of mastitis you had, what medicine you used to treat that mastitis, and how many, say, you had each month or whatever. So the only reason we did that was just to try and make sure that if I was filling it out, or Morse was filling it out, or a workman was filling it out, that we'd all use the same terminology, because that's the way we ourselves know it. Whereas Morse might call it acute mastitis, and I might find somewhere the exact type of bug that it is, because I think it says you can pick strep ubris or strep aureus in this, but obviously at the time, if we don't know, we can just put A1 mastitis, and at least then we'll have a good record of every case that we've had. Click on Morse, is there anything? That's so. I hope that made sense. I know I probably talked quite quick, but if there's any questions, it'd be real good to sort of hear your thoughts, or anyone that is using it, because I'm sure some people are. Most people tend to use it for dry, just because you can make that treatment plan and then always just select it and done. But it'd be interesting to hear anyone else's thoughts or opinions. Or do you have anything to add, Morse, maybe?
I don't really. I just find it that if everything's in the one place, and you can create the treatment plans to suit yourself and their medicines, to suit yourself, it's easier done, because it's only a matter of 2 or 3 ticks, the job's done, and it's recorded, it's there, and then we can help you create the reports that you want on the background. Like even that in Jacob saying about mastitis, or a cow with dermatitis, digital dermatitis, and you're injecting or you're doing something to help treat her. All that there is all information that you can build on where you need to work on for the next year coming in. I know one of the biggest bugbears in farm is E. coli, so to separate it out as an E. coli, because most farmers know it's E. coli, and if it's just a crud, it's down as mastitis, but it could be strep ubris, could be agalacta, could be any number of things. But if you can separate them out and show that, well, with 4 cases of ordinary mastitis, say in January last year, and we've had none the year, what do we do different? Is it just the year? Or look at the summer of this year, it's been crazy, and so it is crazy at the minute with temperatures and humidity. So it sort of gives you a pinpoint as where you maybe need to be looking at different times of the year when you can expect a flare. With a flare last year, we'll have to see if we can do X, Y, Z for this year. That's where I see a benefit, and also the fact the man from Red Tractor can sit down in front of it and everything's there in front of him, and it's all black and white. It's not, you can't filter it, you can't fiddle it, it's there, and they like that. Jacob has spoke to this guy, and I have spoke to a couple as well, and they like information in front of them, this in black and white. So I only see it a positivity. There's a guy on today, and he said he didn't know he could do that, you know, because he had bought Farm Wizard to do it. You know, so but the information is there in T4C. Perhaps Jacob and me's only learning, perhaps you're only learning, but as long as you are picking up a wee bit from what we were trying to get across, because the T4C is massive, the amount of information in it, and we're only chipping on the outer edges of it, really. That's all I would say. If there's any questions, talk away, don't be shy.